Embrace HitMatch. Embrace its academic and professional reputation that has trained over 15,000 professionals in 10 years. Embrace HitMatch's numerous professional programs from HND to BTech, BSc, and MBA in the schools of Business and Management Sciences, Engineering and Technology, and the School of Transport and Logistics. Embrace HitMatch professionalism, excellence, and consistency with solid mentorship from the University of Bamenda and the University of Boya. Embrace HitMatch skills, development, expertise, and career orientation via workshops and academic field trips. Be part of the HitMatch family. Visit our Boya campus at Checkpoint Moliko and Douala campus at Carrefour Yoro, Jos, Bonamusale. Contact 683-70-1720. The Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology, the University Institute for Professionals.
Hello televiewers, good evening and welcome to Prime on my Media Prime. This day we are going to be talking business. We're going to be talking about investments. We equally are going to be talking about financial empowerment with our traditional panelists for the Friday edition of Prime R. We're going to be answering the questions as to what it takes to succeed in Cameroon and Africa as a whole. Excuse me. Do you know and have what it takes to succeed in a country like Cameroon and in any other country like Africa? Just follow us very keenly this evening to understand what is available for all of us, so that we can make it big. We can also become the next Dangotes. We can also become the next Photo Victors and a host of others with our panelists who are seated already. Mr. Buji Leancine is in the house as usual. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, televiewers. It's another Friday and we are at Prime R, ready to learn, share together, so that we can be able to grow our community, we'll grow this nation. And the topic of today is a very exciting one: how we can grow as Africans, as Cameroonians, where we are in a continent that has nearly everything. I mean, not nearly, but everything that it takes to be successful. In fact, Africa is the richest continent. So we are going to be discovering this evening what it takes to actually make it from Cameroon and Africa.
Okay, we're also in the company of Mr. Neba. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Televiewers, days are passing so fast. It's just like yesterday that we sat here and we have another Friday, and it's Prime R. And as always, we are here to share our ideas and, of course, expect you to contribute so that we can be able to be enlightened and move Cameroon and Africa ahead. The topic today is a very brilliant one, and I am expecting you people to contribute so that we really have the juice out of this topic.
We are also in the company of Mr. Javnyuy Joybert. We're glad to have you. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and it's so good to be here and to share with our televiewers this interesting topic. Everybody get to talk about success, and it is one thing to decide that you want to be successful, but it is more important to know what it takes and how to be successful.
Okay, we are also expecting the arrival into our studios of Miss L. I'm talking about Lornarica Nguetussi, who is also caught in traffic. She's going to be joining us very shortly. I'll start with you, Buji. Mr. Buji, you, in your introductory statement, you said Africa is so blessed, so rich, yet poorest. How do we understand this?
Well, understanding this is from our everyday experience, from what happens, and in the mindset of us Cameroonians. So there are times that we believe that we are less endowed than other continents, we are less endowed than other countries, which is not that reality, because when you look deeper, they will describe Cameroon as Africa's in miniature, which means that anything that you can see in Cameroon, in Africa, anywhere in Africa is found in Cameroon. That's enough reason why you don't need to leave Cameroon to go somewhere to find these things, but you just need to have that mental altitude to explore what's around you, to empower yourself, to empower your community, so that you can be able to reap from the benefits of problem solvers. As I always say, if you will want to make money, if you want to be successful here, you need to start solving problems for people. So around around Cameroon, you have a lot of problems, and they say in the Africa is a third world country. There are third world countries. Cameroon is a third world country, which means that there are a lot of problems, there are a lot of resources unexploited. So if we have to look at what does it take for us to be able to exploit these resources and provide solutions what we need, you realize that even there are places that you in Cameroon that don't have potable water. Can you provide potable water there? You'll be making, you'll be helping people. Definitely something is going to come back to your own pockets. And for us to be able to understand exactly what it takes to be successful in Cameroon, we need to first of all believe that you can be successful in Cameroon, because it all starts from the mind. If you cannot if you cannot imagine it, then you cannot actually make it to, you cannot actualize it. That's why this, I attended a program where the speaker says, anything that you see on earth means that it started from somebody's brain. It started, you have mental images of these things. If it's building a plane, then it all starts from there. Mm-hmm. So we need to first of all develop our mental capabilities to be able to face the realities that Africa doesn't need a messiah to come, but we can save our continent ourselves. The other day I was with some Egyptian industrialists, where one told me that Buji, the time has come where we have to take our own destiny into our own hands, because his people say that you can never feel the pain of a people more than them. So until we realize that we have to save ourselves, you don't need to run to another safer place for a oath. Go to somewhere that has been developed so that you can enjoy there. Why not concentrate where you are to solve the problem that you are running away from? That's how I think we can be able to move to find success here in Africa, by confronting what we are scared of, overcoming it. That is where success happens.
Okay, that's where success happens. We're talking about what it takes to be successful in Cameroon and Africa. Mr. Neba, many persons think that it's practically impossible to succeed in Cameroon or in Africa, and that if you have to succeed, you must fall bush.
Yes, that's quite true, and it's a way they have grown up and been wired by the environment, you know, for them to think that they cannot actually succeed in Cameroon or in Africa. Some time ago, if I remember history so well, America wasn't existing, and America had to exist through somebody, and development took place in America, and they developed what is known as the American dream, and they sold it to the whole world, and the whole world has been scrambling since then till today to go to America. And it doesn't really mean that everybody in America is successful. No, not everybody in America is successful. There are successful people in America, and there are people in America who also fail, who are poor, who are broke. Meanwhile, in Cameroon to in Africa, there are people who are successful, same as there are people who are poor. That's to say, everywhere in the world there are broke people and there are successful people. But the question now is, what is the difference that makes these people to succeed and what makes others to fail? Now it comes back to the general underlying factor that we have been discussing here from day one. You are thinking as an individual. What are you thinking? If you have the conception that people cannot succeed in Cameroon, or you can't succeed in Cameroon, no matter what you do here, you'll not be able to succeed, because what you are attracting from your mind is that you will fail here. And as far as the law of attraction is concerned, what you're thinking is what is going to manifest in reality. So if you are seeing that, okay, you will not succeed in Cameroon, no matter what you will do here, you will actually fail. That's why you see some people are struggling, some are succeeding in the same field, because we check every field. If you go to the field of, let me say, truck pushers, there are truck pushers who are very wealthy, and there are truck pushers who are poor. There are accountants who are broke, there are accountants who are super rich, there are journalists who are broke, there are some. The difference is not in the activity that you are doing. The difference is not in the environment wherever you find yourself. The difference is in the way you think. If you see yourself a failure in Cameroon, you actually fail. If you see yourself a success, you attract success to you. Circumstances will start playing in your favor. Events will start playing in your favor. Individuals, you start meeting individuals that are going to play in your favor so much so that you start attracting success. So conceiving that you will not succeed in Cameroon is what will make you not to succeed in Cameroon. Not actually because people are not succeeding in Cameroon. Because if you look around Cameroon, you will see that there are people who have made it here, and they are flying to other places and coming back and going, and there are also people who, of course, we are not saying that people can't succeed out of the country, but to just say people can't succeed in Cameroon is something that is unacceptable. It's a mindset that we should fight it, and that's why we are sitting on this panel on weekly basis, discussing issues, pointing out opportunities, pointing out circumstances where you can be able to expand your mind and actually do something in Cameroon and actually succeed. It is very clear that success comes when solutions are brought to problems. Where there are more problems, there are opportunities, and solving the opportunities will give you, of course, success. Mr. Teks would say, if you want to have more money, solve more problems. If you want to have so much money, solve so many problems. You understand? So if Cameroon is having so many problems, it means that there's so many opportunities here, and that's where you can make the money. Mind you, studies show that when you are taking a plane out of Cameroon, not so. When you are taking a plane out of Cameroon, you have several blacks living, but we are coming into Cameroon, so many whites are coming, and we can see it on our streets. We can see that the Chinese, as these are increasing, Chinese are increasing on our streets. Why are they coming here? I think if it was that people cannot succeed in this country, they will not be coming here. And as they come, there's a whole street in Akwa that's called a Chinese Commercial Center. Back in 5 years ago, it wasn't existing, and obviously they are spreading to other towns. It means that there is something here. Just because we have limited our minds to the fact that we can't succeed here, we can't see those. But these people, one of them came first, tested, and then it worked. Somebody even said something, I don't know whether that is quite true, that the Chinese have to develop a tricycle because they saw somebody with a bike in an African country tying a truck to it and carrying loads in it and then pulling, and then they like, oh, if this is existing, it means that we can actually develop something that these people will be using. And
the tricycles
are floating on the streets today.
Mr. Javnyuy, Joybert, now you are a Cameroonian. We're talking about whether what it takes to succeed in Africa and Cameroon. You are an African, you're a Cameroonian, you're intelligent, and you have all of what it takes to succeed out there. Why are you saying Cameroon?
What a question. Well, you know, I have had the privilege to.
Because why I'm asking this question is that many persons, the Bible says that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And we have parents who spend 10 million because they want their child to go out there. And we have seen videos from Paris where most of our brothers live. Yes. But I really want us to be practical. Let people understand we are talking about what it takes to be successful in Cameroon and Africa. And people may think that it is it's heresy. Yes, it's rocket science. That is why I'm asking you. You are living in Douala, you are living in Cameroon. Why did you not go out there?
You know, let me just give a brief background. I said we should be practical. I have had the privilege to travel several African countries, and I've been to the US and I came back. And I am a business coach, and it is very imperative that we need to start by defining what success means to us. Because we have this issue of people growing up believing that it's not possible to make it out of Cameroon because of what success have been defined for them, not what they have defined success for themselves. And secondly, because people have preached this gospel that it is not possible to make it in Cameroon. And the truth is that people are making it in Cameroon. I always say that there are 4 ways to make it in Cameroon. Number 1, have a godfather who can open doors where you are going to succeed. Number 2, bribe your way through. Have money, bribe your way through, you're going to succeed. Number 3, sleep your way through, you're going to succeed. Number 4, become so good and so graceful that they cannot ignore you. Now, all of these are very valid. But it is very imperative for people to sit and agree as individuals that I am going to be successful and I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to be successful. Traveling out of the country doesn't mean you'll be successful. If you have the wrong mindset and you have the wrong skills, it means that you have just taken an incompetent Cameroonian to an advanced country who will still be a failure. I have seen Cameroonians who are in Europe and the US live who are struggling to succeed, who are asking you, if you give me something before you go. You get a point? So being out there is not success. So it is very imperative that we get to start looking at success in terms of what value can I add to the community, because money only follows value creation. So when you create value, you express their value, you monetize their value, then you get to make money. And that's why when you are not skillful, you will have challenges of succeeding, because competence has a strong relationship with what you get to handle as far as success is concerned. So some young people are coming back, and who still believe in this have done one important thing. They have defined what success means to them. And one of the things that many of these young people have done is that part of their success means that they are going to leave a better Cameroon to their future generation than the one they inherited from their parents. So they are staying back beyond money. They are staying back for the reason of posterity, for the reason of a good legacy,
like
and
yourself?
what they can leave behind.
Is that
I believe, yes, I believe that I need to leave a better country to the next generation.
You want to leave a legacy?
Definitely.
You want to send containers?
Why should we send containers? Why can't we produce our own containers? COVID-19 taught us a very important lesson. If COVID-19 continued for a year and borders were closed, seaport and airport, and we stopped importing, we had no option but turn to local manufacturing businesses. And if we continuously focus on importing without trying to produce, when COVID-19 happens again or something worse happen, our economies are going to struggle. Many companies had issues of being sustainable within this period because the borders were locked. But we need to start. That's why one of the most important creations in President Bia's administration is the Ministry of Vocational Training. But unfortunately, they are messing up, sorry to say. But that ministry is one of the biggest blessings in this country that, if done right, is going to minimize a lot of importation and encourage a lot of local manufacturing that will create thousands of jobs and increase the strength of this economy.
Okay. The question now is, if we say can we be successful in Cameroon or in Africa? What many persons would like to know is whether there are opportunities. You cannot succeed where opportunities don't exist now. Are there opportunities of succeeding in Cameroon? Are there opportunities in Africa?
Mr. Leo, I think I said that a while ago, that in a continent where you have a lot of problems, you have a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
So that is why, as Mr. Neba said, why we have many Chinese, many other nationals coming into Cameroon is because of the opportunities that are found here. But we are in a situation where the dresses we wear, we import the material from other countries. If you go somewhere like Benin there, you realize that this fabric that we are getting here is coming from there. They have been able to be produced, they produce, they export, and they also help transforming. There are people who actually, if they want African wares, they multiply it there in Benin, and then they send to other countries, which means that those people there found an opportunity. They look at how they can transform their cotton to cloth, then sell it. Now, look at what we have here. We have mindsets that they are tilted towards exporting raw material. We export raw material. And that is why, coming back to us at Teks Global, we realized that there was a problem that we are exporting everything. Right now, we are looking at how we can even finish chocolate in Cameroon. We should process our cocoa, and then we should be able to enjoy the benefit of the value added. But before then, what pricked this is, look at the situation where our cocoa farmers in Kumba, our cocoa farmers in other regions, they produce cocoa, we get the cocoa bean, we ship it, maybe somewhere Switzerland or France, and then they refine it, transform it, package, and send it to us. Transportation, custom duties are all included in that. Then we now take these things as a luxury. If you know, if you see the way Cameroonians look at chocolate, they look at it as a luxury. If they tell most of them that this is quite the raw material generated from here, it's our cocoa that has been processed. Well, to buy it, of course. No, not. I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. But there are many people that see. I used to see it that way. Let me be realistic.
You're talking macroeconomics here, Mr. Buji. I'm asking the question as to whether there are opportunities in Africa. Can we tell somebody who lives in Muyuka, in Kumba, in Bafanji, in Bambalang, that there are opportunities in Africa? You're talking chocolate.
Okay, maybe I'm talking following.
You're talking macro
from the background of where I'm coming from. So there are opportunities in Cameroon, wherever you find yourself. There are opportunities because wherever you find yourself, there is a problem around your community. For instance, how do people, you see some, I've met business people who started with provision stores. They went to supermarkets because they realized that you're living in a neighborhood where people need salt, where people need Maggi, where people need rice, where people need gari. So that's an opportunity for you to own a provision store and then solve the problem of your neighbors. Some people start with as little as putting a bench and throwing these things on them and selling. So those are opportunities. Right now, everybody wears shoe. The answer is obviously say yes. Everybody wears shoe. Now there are people. How can you can actually acquire the skills. There are some people that even have this thing inborn in them. I have a friend like the guy who did my dress, D. Hansen. He told me he has not learned this from anywhere, but he's one of the best designers that I know. So what he does is
D. Hansen.
Yes, D. Hansen.
He will come and pay me money. You are doing publicity for him.
Okay. So that is a problem he identified. Right when he was in the university, he told me, I'm not going to do this sociology again. I'm supposed to do masters in sociology, but I want to do something to start designing dresses. I want to be a designer. And today is big. He has taken him to several countries. But that's something that we don't see. We describe. I always call him the tailor. But the value is adding to when he takes a piece of cloth, the value adds to it. Gives with the value, it makes him to be able to generate the income that he needs to continuously expand.
Mr. Buji, we've just been joined by Miss L. She succeeded in overcoming the traffic along her way here. Miss L, you are caught in traffic now. Okay. Why don't we see these opportunities in Africa? Because the opportunities are there, whether we like it or not. Let's say the case of Cameroon. We have many persons who live Mali, Niger, Chad, Central African Republic, Nigeria, and they're making it big here. Why don't we see these opportunities in Cameroon and in Africa?
Okay, well, literally, I understand that it's difficult for people to be able to see the opportunities when their eyes are clouded by the challenges they see. You know, these same persons who are coming to Cameroon is because in their own countries, they are seeing a lot of challenges, and now it opens their eyes and they see opportunities in our country. But to us, when we want to be able to get to the point where we can have access to opportunities, it has a lot to do with you being willing to see these opportunities. It's a matter of choice, because you could get into a room and somebody says that this is black, another person says it's yellow, but it's the same cloth they're talking about. It's just from which angle you're looking at it. It's like how some people say when you write 6 on the ground, someone will see it as 9, another person will see it as 6. There are so many opportunities in our country, but Cameroonians are not willing to open their eyes to these opportunities. They want to look at the things that are out there, of which the things that are out there are just a mirage. It's just a shadow of what is here. Because I used to tell people that if we can have whites and other people coming to get resources from Cameroon, to use it to produce something that they come and give us back to consume, then why don't we open our minds to be able to get access of these same opportunities? And sometimes when these people come, now I could have something without knowing that it's useful, but another person who has the capacity to explore that thing that I have, when he meets that thing, he'll be able to see the importance or the goal that is buried in it. Another thing that hinders us is that when people come into the country that they discover opportunities here and they come into the country, us Cameroonians are not willing to so rub minds and just get a hold of it. It's like how you get close to somebody to just get an information, then you let that person go and you use the information better than the person. So us in the country, we have to open our eyes by being available when it comes to the point of work, being available, because you only get access opportunities when you're in a place where work is being done. But most of us, it's all unfortunate that most of us
let me take a glaring example. Before moving to where I am now, I used to live behind Santa Lucia in Bonamusadi there, and just beside my house, the guy who is operating a provision shop is from Mali. Next door we have a lady who is a tailor who is from DRC Congo, who is doing works well, and not far from me there is somebody who is doing dry cleaning who is from Mali. And when you go through Bonamusadi, you discover that majority of those involved in such activities are from out of the country, and we see them succeed for 20 years. How do we see that and we say we don't understand?
Anyways, to me, Mr. Leo,
yes,
I think
because people, somebody cannot do a business for 20 years and we see them flourishing from other countries and we cannot learn from that.
That's the point. Like I said, that most of us are not willing to learn from it. And one thing that we have in Cameroon is that people have an understanding of white-collar jobs. And these people who are coming from afar, they build more on their talents. If you see most of these people when they get into the country, it is what they already know how to do from where they were. And they bring it here and see, like, I know how to do this, but in Cameroon, these people don't know how to do it. So the things we have here, these guys introduced it in our country.
Cafeteria,
yes,
in Bonamusadi, you find most of them, they are the ones doing it. Don't we know how to do this?
We know how to do it, like I said, Mr. Leo, but the point is most of us are focused on the white-collar jobs. And it goes right down to what we were told about jobs that give money. It's something, it's like a foundation. I said it one time here and said that when we were growing up, we already knew that if you're not a doctor, you're not a lawyer, if you're not a teacher, there are some professions we know that if in your house we don't find somebody in that profession, it means people are poor. You're terribly broke.
If you're a journalist, you're broke.
I didn't say that though.
Mr. Joybert, I don't understand this. Where have we failed in Africa to see all the opportunities? He says there are opportunities. Miss L is, I don't know whether she's deceiving us that there are opportunities. Why don't we see these opportunities?
There are a couple of reasons, and I'm going to try to be as practical as possible. In my job as a business coach and analyst, I have helped people build businesses from zero to something incredible, and I've worked with established companies, and you get to hear the stories how they started. So
if you want to be a mega businessman, please, you are watching us, you can contact us using the numbers there. Mr. Joybert can help you succeed. Yes, you're going.
Yes, so number one of the first reasons that many people don't get to see the opportunities is coming from our education system.
Okay.
Our education system is structured to teach people what to think, not how to think. So when people leave school without the ability to think independently, process things, understand, and how to build value from what they process, they are not going to see opportunities. The second reason why people are not succeeding or seeing opportunities is that people are afraid to start small. People are waiting for the time that they're going to have the right amount of money, have the right support, have the right age or whatever, and there is never the right time and the right money to start anything, especially in Africa. We need to learn how to start small.
We are afraid to fail.
And we are afraid to fail. If you look at the people you mentioned, check where they started. They never started having maybe 2 gas cookers. They never started buying 4 trays of eggs. They started very small. The next reason why people are not seeing opportunities is because they have this culture or this mindset that we already mentioned earlier. I can only make it out of Cameroon, out of Africa. I have said it several times. The future of Cameroon, the future of Africa is not in Europe, it's not in America, it is in Africa. It is back here. Number 4 is skills acquisition. We are in an age, we are in a century whereby if we are not able to learn, unlearn, and relearn, we are not able to upskill and reskill, we will never see opportunities. Right now, if you are in a business setting where you are not studying how technology, because it is not the country that enables to be successful, it is your ability to create value for the next person, and the next human being can give you money for the value that you create. It is all about exchange. It's all about exchange. I'll take some 1 or 2 messages and we continue for tonight. This one says, good evening, Mr. Leo. The topic is teaching Cameroonians are lazy, lack creativity and patience. They want to start now and get rich tomorrow. It's impossible. You have to react to that, Mr. Neba Paul, whether that is what is actually holding us back. Greetings, Mr. Leo. Please, for the business coach contact. It's Dennis from Bamenda, a business coach. I don't know who's the business coach here. Okay, Mr. Joybert. Can you just ask for his number after the program? I'll send it to you. This one says, they're sending me. Okay, thank you. About small support. I'm glad to know that. We'll look at that later on. But are we, like somebody is saying, are we really lazy? We are not creative and we are thinking that it's impossible to succeed here. Is that not our problem?
That's one of our problems, Mr. Leo. I must say, we are lazy. We are not creative. And we want to plant in the morning and harvest in the evening. We don't want to undergo the process of we don't want to endure the pain, just like a seed will have to undergo the pressure under the ground to get rotten and then germinate, to grow, to take time to weed and nurture and nourish. We don't want all of that. We want to do things that will give us money in the evening. I think this has exposed us to most of the risks that we are talking about today. When you want to talk about business, we talk about online business, so many Cameroonians will be crying. Why? Because we heard of something. I'm saying this, of which I'm not exempted. I was once a victim to that also, where we heard of something and we can put money here and it's going to give us 10 times in the evening, and we don't even think of the process. We just want to have the juice at the end of the day. We don't know.
We see somebody using a Range Rover.
Yes.
And we hear that one young guy has created a snack in Wunamusadi, and the next month we want to also be like that. That's
another issue. We don't want to look at the background.
That's being patient.
We don't want to look at the process. We don't want to see the process of planting a solid foundation. I mean, somebody who wants to be a skyscraper cannot have the same foundation with somebody who wants to build just a bungalow. I mean, you see somebody who has already erected a bungalow and is staying inside, and you have a mind that you want to create a skyscraper, and you are already worried that this person's building is completed and yours is not completed, and you want to hurriedly complete your own the same period that person completed his. Yours is going to crash. Why? Because the load that you are carrying on that foundation you did not lay that foundation. Cameroonians need to learn how to lay foundation. Cameroonians need to learn how to go hungry for the sake of achieving something bigger.
That's sacrifice.
Yes, you have to, of course, sacrifice. You need to delay. You need to understand delay gratification. You should be able to drink garri today, so that tomorrow you can be able to eat chicken and give chicken to your neighbor. But if you want to be eating chicken on a daily basis, means that what you have today, you consume today. You are not able to plant any. You know, as I always say, when you need to understand that when you are planting, don't keep people hungry around you, and you yourself try to control your hunger, and understand that he that is planting tomatoes doesn't have the same duration with somebody who's planting maybe cocoa or palm trees. We need to understand that, and not look at others, just like you said that somebody has opened a snack somewhere and we want to open it. We're always trying to decide and follow because we have seen somebody done something, but to ask questions that how did this person start, where did he turn left or turn right to arrive here? We don't ask those questions, you understand? We only want to see that, all right, I have the energy, I'm young, I should be able to buy a car, have a house now, have a wife. Like Mr. Joybert posted something that really is pitching people, is giving a lot of headache to people online. He cautioned that young boys should not be making babies with broke girls, and broke girls should not be making babies for broke boys. And people were like, how could he say that? Which is very correct. We should be able to take decisions with people who we know that we will be able to bear the consequences. Because mind you, some of these things, they affect us so much. When we take decisions that we can't bear the consequences, they slow us down, just like getting babies at a younger age without thinking of the consequences. We now tend to start nursing babies instead of pursuing our dreams, and it shatters the whole dreams.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, and there's also the concept where you have a brother who would want to have 8 children, hoping that you have to help them.
Yeah,
it is almost everywhere.
That's true. That's true.
You are really broke in the family, and you think that you have to deliver because this brother or sister has to take care.
He's the one that has gone to school, that big school in Douala.
Okay.
So.
Good evening. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. What it takes for us to succeed in Cameroon is believing in ourselves enough to succeed here. This starts by us developing our mindset and being the different person, not always following the crowd. My name is Azipo, writing from Douala. We must not follow the crowd. Good evening to you in the studio. This is a very rich program. I think one of the reasons why we don't succeed here is not because there are no opportunities here, but because we think we can't succeed here. A Cameroonian prefers to go and open a hairdressing salon in Europe, but they are unable to do the same job here. Yvonne Chabo is writing from Bonaberi. Paddy Brown, tailor, one of the best tailors in Bamenda, Frontier Street, says, hello, Mr. KUM. People have different definition of success, and to me, one can succeed anywhere depending on what you are arriving for. You cannot be striving to ride a car when you can't afford a bicycle. Success to me is expanding from the little business you had and venture bigger dreams. I'm a tailor. I think I'm succeeding because I started with one machine 2 decades ago, but today I have more machines. I haven't gone to America or Europe to succeed. I can't boast riding a car, but I'm sure of daily bread. That's how I define success. Paddy Brown, Frontier Street Junction. Paddy Brown, please, you need to drive a big car. I'm very happy with your vision and courage, but I think that you need to drive a big car. Yeah, you are helping the people in Bamenda. So, Maford Designs, actually, I will use this opportunity to say thank you. I'm dressed by Maford Designs. They offered this to me during the last edition. Last Friday, they offered this dress to me. Maford Designs. I hope that you, Paddy, who is watching this program, next week, the suit that I will wear will come from you, Paddy. Paddy Brown from Bamenda. Maford Designs is found in Boya. If you want something, no. Okay, she's in Douala. Eh? I thought she was in Boya.
No, her base is in Douala, Bonaberi.
She's based in Bonaberi and Douala and Boya. If you need something very nice. I'm sure she's the one who dressed you too, Mr. Neba.
Always,
so,
always.
Mr. Neba is dressed by Mafo Designs, and Mr. Joybert is dressed by Mafo Designs. If you think you want something so nice like what we are putting on, just call us. We are going to link you to Mafo Designs. Good evening, Mr. Leo. It's Ngong David from Bomono. Success should not be pursued. We only need to pursue value and make ourselves valuable, and success will look for us. A successful person is one that impacts his society and not accumulation of material wealth, or one that had a godfather. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and everyone in the studio. I'm enjoying your program. Please, can I have the phone number of the business coach? Thanks. Fanyu is writing from Bamenda. You guys, can you just write to me after the program? I can only share the numbers after the program on WhatsApp. Good evening to the crew. I'm Loveline from Krebi. My problem comes in at the level of high taxes levied by government. How do you build something little with the alarming high taxes? Please enlighten me more. Hi, I am Kerala Mu, the director of AG MP services in Limbe, precisely at Isokolo. Here informs the population of its shares, where you invest 50,000 francs and receive 5,000. Can you call me? Let me advertise your business. The issue with Cameroonians succeeding is continuity, which is built on mindfulness and integrity. Many people do not have the mindset to take risk. Okay. For one, Ching Kasmila says, good evening to you all in the studio. There are opportunities in Cameroon, just that the means to exploit them are very limited. We have the talents, but so many obstacles, like having loans to start a business. Kasmila Ketu is writing from Bonaberi in Douala. Hi, Mr. Lou, nice topic. Success is not necessarily having money or wealth. Success is a progressive achievement of your goals. Collins Anyangwa writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Leo and the entire team in the studio. I think in order for us to be successful in Cameroon or Africa as a whole, we need to be creative, determined, and hardworking. So it's an issue of a mindset. Kaiser Lionel is writing from Edea. Mr. Buji, are we too distracted in Cameroon and in Africa? We're talking about what it takes to successful. Do we have to also cut away from lots of distractions?
Yes, Mr. Leo, the answer is yes. We are so distracted.
We are involved in so many unnecessary things.
In so many things, right? Which I always go back to our educational system, even, which you have a situation where sometimes we just study everything. You see somebody who cannot tell you what they actually studied. You have, but in other countries, you have specialization where a child, before going to school, the child already knows exactly what they are going to be doing. Why we have a situation where Chinese children are offering their handwork, maybe toys that our children use here. There may be mobile phones and other things. Our own our own handworks here, you cannot really, in fact, you don't even okay, broom, or they stick to make popcorn. So why those things are all are good, but what our children are producing, can they be sold in foreign markets? Can they even be sold to our community? Because if you even go and you look at the wooden spoon, you have wooden spoons now coming back from we're importing them from China and other countries, and we don't need to blame these countries for actually taking these opportunities from us, because if these guys don't do these things for us, we'll definitely not do them. Though, as Mr. Joybert said, that COVID-19 actually gave an opportunity for us to learn that we could survive without these things. You saw people, little factories of face masks, hand sanitizers. People made money during that time. That was an opportunity to tell us that if we can focus on some things, definitely we can be able to solve some of these problems around us, and money is going to come to our pocket. We are going to create an impact in our society. But in the long run, unlike other communities, everybody here also have the fact that everybody wants to work Everybody wants to work, to be employed. Everybody wants a ready-made job. And people don't want to go into things like mentorship, where maybe you want to open a provision store. You have to go and attach yourself to somebody who has been doing that over time, so that you can learn the skills and then start the business. It will be easy to be successful. But today, you see a business model, all you want to do is you want to create something like that, which it's very difficult, because you need to get attached to people who have traveled ahead of you. Mr. Teke always say, where experience is your best teacher, definitely success becomes far-fetched. Because if Mr. Joybert is a business coach, and if you want to create a good business, it's easier for him to help you, because that is what he masters. But instead of you deciding that, okay, I've seen a business, I want to just open a business like Santa Lucia, you could meet somebody who is who has done it, or the person who is experienced, the person who is knowledgeable on that, and then you borrow from their skill. But we want to start using our own limited knowledge, then we meet failure very faster. So the place of personal development, the place of mentorship, the place of coaching is still very important. I remember the people who have gone to SHEP Academy, they always have a different story to tell when it comes to their businesses, because they decided to dedicate time to learn about what they were going into. But here, you want to be a businessman today, tomorrow you want to be a consultant, the next day you want to be a journalist. You don't focus on one opportunity to grab it.
We are not focused, if I get what you are saying. But what I was asked initially is that, yes, we have to be focused, but we need to reduce distractions to the barest minimum. That is what takes us out of our dreams, because we must understand that to succeed, we must have a vision, and to be able to sail through that with that vision, you need to be focused. Are we not too distracted in Cameroon and in Africa? That is, the white man brought civilization to us, but we are trying to play more civilized than the white man.
Okay, Mr. Leo, there are so many things that are distracting us when it concerns us achieving success in Cameroon and in Africa. The first thing is that we are distracted by foundations that we already had, knowledge, informations that we already had. That's the first thing that is distracting us here in the country. It has gotten to the point where when you tell somebody you can now do it like this, they feel like, no, the one they already know how to do is the comfort zone, and it's okay for them to stay there. It's enough distraction when it concerns the path to success. The next are just some of the pleasures we have around us. A lot of us in the country are not willing to sacrifice our current pleasure for our treasures tomorrow. We are not willing to give out time. That's one thing I know. Time is very essential when it concerns success. But most of us are not willing to sacrifice time, to put in energy in time, to put time to work. Let me say put time to work. Meaning you know what you are doing at the time. A lot of us are not ready to program our lives like that. That's why it's very common now, it's very common in our country that somebody will prepare to go for a very important event, and your friends pop in and a story comes up of people hanging out. You don't know when you even find yourself going with them, because the original vision, what you are supposed to be achieving, is not implanted in you. When you know your vision so well, you know your vision so much that when they tap you from sleep, you can say it. Trust me, it will begin to ring in your mind such that when you see these distractions, you unconsciously you override them. The distractions vary from person to person. The thing that might be a distraction to me might not be a distraction to another person. It depends on who we are as individuals. There are people, now I would term a distraction as whatever has the ability to control you more than your ability to control it. The reason why I'm giving this definition is because many people, when you tell them you are distracted, the first word that comes, or the first sentence that comes out is a lie, I'm not distracted. But the same persons, you find them being controlled or being influenced by some things around them. Being influenced by their phones, being influenced by TV, being influenced by friends, those are distractions. Being influenced by family, those are distractions. Anything that you cannot control Whatever you cannot control has an influence over you. That's how it is. If you cannot control this thing, if you cannot have influence over this thing has an influence over you. And now, whatever tilts your mind away from the original vision, from the original lane you're supposed to be going towards or following, is a distraction. So we have distractions everywhere. But the truth is that you cannot say you're not succeeding because there's a distraction. That is not even an excuse. Because every day of your life there are distractions. Even in your sleep, there's a distraction in your sleep. Because the fact that you can be able to dream and even get up in the morning and remember that you were dreaming shows that you were not really sleeping, because you saw something even in your sleep. Your subconscious mind was working even in your sleep. So you cannot say that you are distracted. So it's a matter of choice. You choose to be distracted. It's possible. I've seen cases where people study in front of a television. Imagine you're staying in a house where it's not your parents' house and they do what they like and you're writing the GC. So you fail because they're putting on the TV. It's a matter of choice. We cannot avoid distractions. It will always be there. But it depends on you. If you are willing, if you are focused on where you are going to, then the how will not really be a problem. Because when the how is taking place, when those other things are coming up, you are focused on where you're going to. It's possible. It's always better to look at where you're going to, so much that the obstacles that might be around you becomes more of a shadow. When you're looking more at the crown that is ahead, you see the pain around you to be more of a process. So distraction is part of the process. There is no way you can even, and sometimes I feel like some distractions need to come, or they need to be around us to be able to flush out the real person in us. You know, you will never know that you were able to I want to give a practical example. There are some things now you may never know that you were able to dodge or to overcome the temptation of money until when you meet a situation that warrants you to steal or to do something, a criminal activity to give you money. You will never know that you can have a little control. Some people feel like money controls them, but you will never know that you can have control over money until you meet a situation where it demands you to get into some dirty things to make money. So sometimes these distractions are necessary, but it depends on you. When a distraction comes, see it as an opportunity for you to be able to learn something and be able to get out, to be able to bring out another ability from within.
Okay. KUM, I always love your program, but how do we team success when opportunities differ from person to person, and which level is success considered? Because everyone would not be like Mr. Dangote, Patrick Magnite, and Bill Gates, just to name a few. So our vision of success should always differ from our different backgrounds. Mr. Yari is writing from Ekok. Mr. Yari, please, we want everybody to be like Dangote. You can be a Dangote in Ekok. Please work hard. We all are going to succeed. Me, I want to be like Dangote if you don't want to. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Your programs are always impressive. Creativity is the only way out. Most Cameroonians focus on the government for employment, forgetting how corrupt Cameroon government is. Government is not happy with Cameroon at all. You can't beat a child and tell him not to cry. I'm fed up with this country. Thanks. Mba, where are you writing from? Mba is writing from Fundong. Good evening to you, Mba. Hello, good evening, Mr. Leo. Okay. Hello, good evening to you in the studio. For me, I think one of the reasons why many Cameroonians is because most of them refuse to think out of the box, and most of them want to succeed through the easy means. In order to succeed, you have to identify a problem in the community, work on it. I'm Val, writing from Bomenda. Good evening to you, Val. Good evening, sirs. Please, for the number of the business consultants. All of them are business consultants, please. Good evening, Mr. KUM. To all the panelists in the studio, the reason why Africans or Cameroonians as a whole can't see the opportunities lack their willingness to sacrifice. They want quick money and the patience to discover and explore the opportunities in the country is what is blindfolding us. Secondly, we lack the patience to learn skills that will enable us to become a better version of ourselves, as well as we lack the mind to specialize in a particular skill and become a master, but we tend to be jack of all trades and a master of none, which keeps us distracted. We are not willing to pay the price. Cyril is writing from Bonamusari. Mr. Leo, many young people minimize little beginnings. Little beginnings enable want to learn the steps of a business, it's up and down, and be able to move on when capital increases. But many only want to start big. When you are given millions without the technical know-how, you will see fail. But when you have the technical know-how, that is when you will succeed. Michael is writing from Limberg. Good evening to you, Michael. Good evening to you all in the studio. Opportunities are hidden in challenges we or our society face on a daily basis. That's why ordinary people can't see them. Nzolif writing from Bomenda. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and to all the great minds in the studio, especially Mr. Joybert. The program is an interesting one. Thanks for bringing up such topics on your platform. To succeed in Africa and Cameroon in particular demands hard work, being smart, and having a vision, which must not be through white-collar jobs. I hail Mr. Joybert for his work he has been doing through his Facebook, YouTube, and email channel. I am one of his silent followers, and I hope to benefit from one of his courses in the near future on phone. Ernest writing from Dubai. Mr. Joybert, what it takes to be successful in Cameroon and Africa? Most of you watching us this evening, you must understand that to be a successful man, unlike what we were told in the past, to be a successful Cameroonian or African is not to be a teacher from ENS, to be a graduate from ENAM, but to look beyond that. Is this civil service matricule syndrome not what has blinded many to knowing how to be successful in Africa?
Yeah. So I don't know who sold us this lie that having a matricule or working with the government is a success or is financial success, but I think it's one of the biggest lies that they're sold to us in many African countries. And in other African countries, there's a lot of reawakening that if you want to be successful and create greater impact, you need to look beyond the civil service. And of course, civil servant, as it's fondly called, you are called to serve. It's unlike in Cameroon and many other African countries whereby we have people who call themselves civil servants and they behave like demigods, and they promote bribery and corruption in their offices and so on. The civil servant, you have a heart to serve your nation, and not an opportunity for you to be corrupt or feel as if that you are a god somewhere. And of course, people can share different experiences of what they have had going through civil servants. But you know, young people need to start, and everybody else need to start looking at the private sector. There is a lot, and there are a lot of opportunities as far as the private sector is concerned. And in a country like
bigger opportunities,
bigger opportunities. It is impossible to hear that a civil servant is a billionaire or it's rated among the top 100 billionaires. If somebody has that, it's either you're a thief or you are definitely doing something right, because you just have a standard basic salary. And it is very important for young people to start looking at what they can create or tap from the private sector. One incredible thing about the private sector is that you can either create something new or you can improve. And in any of these two layers that you choose to play as a key stakeholder, you can actually make a lot of opportunities. And one of the best ways that people need to take advantage of the private sector is for people to start looking at which sectors in the economy will actually define the present and the future. So, as I always say, in business, for example, there is the economy, and there are industries that makes up the economy, and there are companies that makes up the industry. That's a three-layer system. And one of the best ways to look at, okay, this is a Cameroon economy. Which industry is struggling? Like, I always encourage anybody who is in fashion, for example, and even music, if you do it right, you're a moving billionaire. Why? Because I believe, my belief is that there is nothing in terms of technology that Africa can surprise the West with. I don't think. But we can surprise the West with our fashion style, our sounds and rhythms and a lot. And that's one thing that people can look at. Okay, where is Africa lacking in the global stage that can take advantage of? So anybody who's in fashion design, like the people you are mentioning right now, they should be looking at, okay, what role can I play in the international scene and locally to take advantage of this gap. Look at technology, healthcare, manufacturing, education, media. These are various industries that young people need to look into. Like, I was talking to somebody one time. I was like, do you know that YouTubers are wealthier and more richer than journalists? YouTuber, those who do YouTube videos, right? Because I have a YouTube friend who is based in Bonamosadi who makes at least $800 to $1,200 every month from ads that is being paid to her for doing YouTube videos of going to shop in Bonamosadi market or going to play football or whatever that she does, and she has that. That's where social media influencers come in. Every industry has an opportunity, but young people need to tilt their way into taking advantage. And this is where seminars and workshops and boot camps come in, because when experts organize this program, they are not teaching you from a general perspective. When they bring an expert to speak in any event, that person is coming to speak from a professional perspective, to share practically what they have done and to teach you how to do it. And as I always recommend people, avoid bringing speakers to events that have not done what you want them to teach, because they'll never be able to transfer anything practical. So young people should tilt their way. And trust me, if you don't know how to analyze an economy, analyze industries in a market like Cameroon and take advantage of, I would strongly recommend you to find people that can guide you, and especially people that have money and don't know what to do. There's this video I did on how to discover business ideas in Cameroon when you have money. I don't know what to do with it. It's on YouTube, and it has helped a lot of people, because there are people that have money, they have saved, maybe after a year they have $1 million francs, 2 million francs, and they don't really know which kind of business to do. And why is that? Because they don't know how to analyze the private sector and take advantage of the various opportunities in these sectors.
Okay. Many persons think that it's very, very difficult to succeed in Africa and in Cameroon. Is it not also because of ignorance? We do not know, because many persons would easily write to me that the taxation is killing them, people don't have money, and a host of others. Tekok Julius, good evening to you. Tabot Lo Rapper, good evening to you. Anita Eno, good evening to you. Zuo Bruno, my brother, good evening to you. I'm glad to know that you're watching the program. Isn't it also because of ignorance? We don't take time, like he's saying, to meet. There are experts in these domains, and we sleep in our houses and we think that I want to engage in a business, okay, I must succeed, not knowing that there are experts that can easily direct us or as to what to do.
Mr. Leo, let me quote the Bible. Somewhere in the Bible it is said that my people perish because of knowledge.
Because of lack of knowledge.
Because of lack of knowledge, excuse me. If you are missing out somewhere, it means that there's something that you don't know. Yes. And if Cameroonians have been missing out in opportunities, it means that they have not sought the right knowledge. I'm not saying that you should know everything concerning whatsoever you want to get into. I'm not encouraging those who want to see all the street lights green to the end of the street before they kickstart. I'm talking of basic knowledge. We don't know how things are happening around us, and we most of the times jump without knowing. Just to jump, we don't know, and when we land badly, we say, okay, everything is bad and we are not going to dare again, and then we restrict ourselves and we stay in the comfort of our ignorance, and we celebrate our ignorance because we once dare into the unknown and we failed. If you would, sometimes you discuss with people who are really clueless about things, and the way they would defend their ignorance, you begin to, you who think that you, or who actually you know something and you have implemented it, and it has worked out well for you, you begin to start feeling like you are the one who is stupid, you are the one who doesn't know anything. You understand? Continuous learning is something that we must embrace as Cameroonians, as Africans. If we must stay on stage, we must find that time to keep acquiring knowledge, equipping ourselves with what is necessary, because change is the only thing, and as time is passing, the way things are done are changing, and if we don't measure up by acquiring the relevant skills, the relevant knowledge that is going to permit us to identify the opportunities that are around us, we will always find ourselves lacking, and we will always think that the opportunities are elsewhere. And mind you, this the West has a way they have sold themselves to us, and we always see that the opportunities are with them. Sometimes when I'm walking on the street and I see a lot of places that are advertising where you get visas to Europe, to Canada, to America, I'm wondering, I'm asking myself, over there in those countries, do we also have business people or whosoever that they have publicity where they advertise people to come to Cameroon, to Africa? Those things, they always baffle me. These people have done it so much in a way that we are selling their dream here to our own people to make it be like over there things are happening so well and here nothing is happening. And since we are so ignorant about what is happening in our environment, we now focus on finding ways to go where the grass is green. Miss Earl will say, what makes you feel that the grass you're dreaming about is not artificial grass? Grass is green everywhere. Know that if grass is greener somewhere, somebody is watering it. And find the grass around you. If the grass is dying down around you, ask this question: why is this grass dying? Is it because of dry season? Okay, how can I irrigate this grass so that in the dry season it should continue staying wet? These are things that when we ask, we start acquiring knowledge. We start to damage folly. We start to damage ignorance, and we get awareness. You start creating value, and when you create value, what's the return? We start having people get to you here and there, and of course resources start taking place. This is a whole big picture that when we sit and we're complaining about taxes and we are not doing our own small effort in our own corner to contribute in the economy, the lack will always occur, because we are so good at when we lack knowledge, we blame somebody else. While you are blaming somebody, you cannot be blaming somebody at the same time and you are delivering what you are supposed to deliver. The moment you are blaming somebody, what you are supposed to be contributing, you are not contributing. That time that you are supposed to use in seeking knowledge in order to thrive, you are not seeking that knowledge. The question is where you are failing, where you think that things are not going. Are people not succeeding? If people are succeeding, what do they know that you don't know? That's the biggest difference in this life. If somebody is doing, don't slow down, I'm going to brush my knees, and that's how it goes. But if you keep complaining and you don't seek the path of acquiring knowledge, you complain like that and complain, and you grow old, and you will never ever have the beauty of life. Embrace knowledge acquisition. Mr. Joybert has said that these avenues like this, having programs like this, remind you, Mr. Leo, as we are having a brilliant program like this, we are analyzing things that are happening in our society. There are people who have swapped past this channel and they have gone to another channel. There are people who have quarreled with their family members because someone in that family is trying to see light through this channel and acquire knowledge here that people are sharing here, Mr. Joybert, Mr. Buji, which they are paid to share this knowledge, but people are consuming something else that is not going to help them. Many
are embarrassed now.
Yes.
Shocking.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course, Mr. Leo.
Many are already drunk.
As you said, it's ignorant. It's ignorant. I speak. So,
you have. But how do we understand that somebody has 5 million in Cameroon and think that they cannot succeed with it until they go to Dubai with that 5 million?
That's the point of ignorance, Mr. Leo.
Can we share some of these stories? Because I don't know. It's true, the Bible, what they say, whatever is written in the Bible, we live to fulfill it. Yes. How big is it there that you have 5 million
in
Cameroon, and you think that it is by going to Dubai, to Turkey, to Pakistan, to Cyprus?
I
think do you have some of those stories to share with us?
Well, let me share something before he intervenes on that. I realized that there was a time that I also had the mentality that the zeal to also
to
fall bush, because at times everybody around you is telling you, to get to the government, it's not easy to have a job in Cameroon. I mean, in fact, there was a time that I even wrote a police constable.
you sold a plot to bribe?
No, definitely I
did not get to that level.
I did not reach that level. But after trying several concours, it did not go. I sat and analyzed. I said, but how? When it came academically, I was not doing bad. In fact, I was amongst the top in my...
Did you not have a godfather?
Yeah, so since I did not have a godfather, I had the other alternative is going abroad. At that time, the only challenge was the money to pay for the documents and maybe go and be sweep streets or be a mortuary attendant.
At
that time,
you go to school to become a nurse.
or go to school to become a nurse. That's the one thing. But there is this thing that I discovered at that time. There's some of our brothers that when they struggle and go that way, it's not going. So now they do travel agencies. Now we advertise. They actually sell the dream. Now you get it. If Mr. Neba wants to come, maybe you may spend about 3.5 million, 1.5 million from it. If I have a travel agency, and he comes there, he realizes that the realities, what was promised is not there, and then maybe he ends up joining this very business, deceive more people to to move over. And at the end, that's why when you see stories like a few weeks or months ago, where they're saying somebody killed another,
killed 2 people.
Yes, because people you have frustration. When you arrive, you realize the dream that was sold to you it's not the same. Or you realize that you are going somewhere, you are already been sold, at least as, I don't know how to describe it, as a semi-slave, or let's just call it as it is, as a slave. Because people want to make it, and they want to make it anyhow. The little money you have here that you would have started a business with, you spend the money to do documents. You see people frustrated in the Panama forest.
They die. They want to go to America.
I think there were 2 Cameroonians that
died and left a baby.
They want to go and meet Anita Enotakan in America. That's the El Dorado.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Okay, good evening, Davidson from Moyuka. Please, it was not a lie. It is a policy in Cameroon, civil service oriented, and this has crippled the country like other Francophone African countries. Good evening to you. Yeah, civil service mentality. Greetings, Mr. Leo, all in the house. I think we can only advise someone in the process. You can always guide someone to follow a path, but to follow it or not depends on the person. You can teach someone how to achieve success, but that doesn't guarantee. Cameroon, make me understand. Okay, you want to understand, just follow the program now. That's what we are discussing. Good evening to all. Mr. Liu, your programs are always very interesting. Please let young Cameroonians forget the idea of making money being a civil servant. It's a lie, and we should not put all blames to the government. There are things we can do with just little or no government intervention that will give us more money. What you just need to do is to be able to apply yourself in the right place at the right time. Mr. Franklin is writing from Konsamba. Good evening, Davidson from Muyuka. Please, it was not a lie. Okay, Franklin, I got your message already. Joynel Maya writing from Douala. Another thing that is keeping us back is because we believe we can't do it. Low self-esteem we have already built in our minds that nothing good can come from Cameroon or maybe from us as individuals, and until we change that mindset and look at things from the other angle and be ready to pay the price, we won't achieve success. Okay, what will become of Cameroonians who paid for passports? Please use your medium to draw the government's attention to this. You are the voice of the voiceless, Mr. Liu. Thank you. We're going to be discussing that, I'm sure, next week. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and your wonderful Friday. Cream of panelists are the simplest way to be successful in Cameroon, especially is to be connected, especially to those at the top. Cameroon's success becomes difficult in you don't have someone at the top. You need, for example, extremely hard. You need to work extremely hard. Sumbele Kelvin is writing from Kongsamba. Ngulifak Anastasia writing from Kongsamba also says, good evening, Mr. Liu. It's very easy to succeed in Cameroon and Africa. The problem is just that we Cameroonians don't see the opportunities in the country. Let Cameroonians join Mr. Teks' vision and start solving problems. We will all grow. Okay? Good evening to you, Ngulifak Anastasia writing from Kongsamba. Do we really value what is Cameroonian and Africa? Is that not where the problem is? Where people think that what Mafo Designs has provided for us is not as valuable as what they will buy on, they will pay 100,000 to buy somewhere, and maybe the furniture, almost everything. Is that not also where we are failing? Because if we were to patronize Cameroon and African stuff, almost everybody is going to succeed because whatever you provide, we are going to consume.
Mr. Lee, I believe that if you don't believe in yourself, you cannot believe in another person.
Look at the opportunity Mr. Teks is offering us. We easily jump for something that the Chinese will present to us, or a Cambodian, or yes.
So like I earlier mentioned, you cannot believe in somebody's vision if you don't believe in yourself. The thing is that most of us feel that we're already failing, and we have this mindset that if me, I can fail, then you will be you for succeed. So they already have that mindset. So it's not really about the people that are doing this, are producing these products that they cannot consume. It's more about the consumer. The problem here is the consumer. We don't trust our individual selves, so it's difficult for us to trust, to value the things that are around us. And away from that, you know, we had this mindset ever since. There's a story in history they used to tell us about the slave masters and all the like. This guy comes and he's putting his eyeglasses down, and people are walking thinking that his eyes are there and everything. Zingraf. There's more of an idea, a notion that we have already. We already see now. Some people will tell you that no, we don't really look at whites as our gods. They just say it. But trust me, most of us still look at these guys, that they are right up here and we're down here. That's what most of us see. So we know that whatever they are doing is okay, and what we are doing, we're trying to copy from what they're already doing. But I'm proud to say, from one or two things that I've experienced in the past 2 weeks, it has added to my confidence in saying that Cameroonians are smarter than what we ever thought. They are smarter than, that is, we are smarter than what we even think. But it's just that we're not ready to think. That's the problem. We're not ready to think. So we have to get to the point where we value what we have. If you don't value what you have, nobody will pay you for it. You are supposed to value that thing. When you value it, you will treasure it so much. And people, money follows value. Whatever you want people to be able to pay you for, you as an individual rate it high. Take for instance, if Mr. Teks Samuel should get into the building, and we are employees, where his staff or where his mentees, and he gets into the building and all of us are just, or I don't know, let me use our president gets into the building and all of us are just okay, like nobody's bothered about it. He already sends a signal to people around that, okay, if people are beside him can behave like this, then there is no need respecting the person. That's what we're doing. If we want whites to consume what we produce, whatever we have that belongs to us, that is produced by our own, we should stop waiting for people to fail and start joining them to win. That's how it is. It's a win-win affair. Now look at it this way. Your neighbor is producing a skin product and you know it's good. But now you don't want to get it because you feel like the one that is good is the one that is in the glass. You put in the glass bottle, the like, but forget to understand that most of these businesses started from somewhere. Your neighbor produces a good body cream. You buy the good body cream. It's a win-win affair. Your neighbor is making money, your skin is glowing. But now this is what we want to do. We want to get out of our community-based life. The Cameroonians or Africans are used to community. Money remains in the family. Money does not go out of the family, but we are taking money out of the family and we expect that we should be able to prosper. It cannot go. The reason why you are abusing your neighbor, that her business has remained on the same position for 10 years, is because you have refused to buy that product. Trust me, if you were buying, your brother was buying, your sister, your children, your neighbor could have made enough income that could have expanded that business. The reason why your sister that is beside you is broke when she's producing simple gari is because you want to buy the one that they're importing. Meanwhile, somebody is producing the one that is good for your system beside you, but you feel like the one that is imported is better. And that's why we are broke, because we don't want to consume what we are producing. So if we don't want to consume what we are producing, come and think of it. Okay, now if what we are producing, let's say normal food like Eru and all the like, we're producing, if what we are producing is not good, why is it that our brothers who travel out of this country and go to foreign countries still call Cameroon that they should send them food? These guys have gone and they know what is there. That's the truth. So we have to get to the point where we value what we have. If we value what we have, it creates more opportunities. If I value what a fashion designer, we're talking about Marford Designs, if I value what Marford Design is doing and I start purchasing more for Marford Designs, it means that as we're purchasing more, her demand, her command is increasing. As it's increasing, it means she needs more machines. She needs more people to work with her. Who will come and work with her? Will she go and get a wife to come and be sewing African dresses? No. It's you who is beside her that has been monitoring what she's doing, that has been learning from her, that will get the job. And that's how we grow. So the opportunities that we want to get, they are just beside us, but we are unwilling to harness the things that we have around us, to harness the already available resources that we have around us. So as Africans, as Cameroonians, let us place value to what we have. That is how we attract money to this country. If a white comes and is buying a product from you, you know they don't know what you're selling. Tell them that this, place value to it. And I know most of us is because we cannot market what we're even selling in the first place. But place value to it. Respect what you have. It's like how Mr. Teke always say that when you have money, don't twist it. You say, like, keep it well. When you fix money and keep it well, money will know that you are valuing it, so you'll be attracting his brothers and sisters to come your way. That's how it is. When you have value it, you is selling what you have. Value it. Whatever you're selling, value it, and you'll be able to send that same signal to the persons that are around you that are purchasing from you.
Okay. Can we just, we have not much time left. Mr. Joybert, we want to talk practically to a common man out there watching us who wants to succeed in Cameroon and in Africa. What do you tell them?
Again, as I said earlier, one of the most powerful things that Africans need to work on, our Cameroonians to work on, is their level of competence, because people get to desire a lot of success. Meanwhile, their ability to actually make that success to happen is another thing. So, as I always say, it is one thing to have a dream, but it is another thing to become the person that can make that dream to happen. And the becoming part is the skills development part, is the competence development part, is the confidence development part. Because confidence is defined as your way or your mentality of believing that you have the ability to do something. And if we don't start developing these competence and confidence in ourselves, we are going to struggle. And secondly, we need to be solution oriented and not just solving a problem, but solving a problem with some structured outcomes in terms of, number one, how can I solve this problem and monetize this problem? Number two, how can I solve this problem and employ people you can get the job done? We provide recruitment services to companies, and sometimes companies come to us to recruit and they'll give us their criteria, and people will come to you with MBAs and BScs and so on, and they cannot even talk well in an interview. They don't have the right CVs. They cannot categorically give you a step-by-step process of how they're going to get the job done if they are employed. They cannot convince you that they can produce results. When a business announces that they need a marketing manager, what they're indirectly saying is that they have a marketing problem and they need a marketing value creator expert to come and solve this problem. So we need to start thinking in this direction and make sure that we should do the right thing. And something that we cannot avoid not to mention is we need the enabling environment. I have said, so I've had the opportunity to speak in international conferences with ministers and sometimes press. I always tell them, your young people don't need money from you. Your young people need the enabling environment. If the government don't start providing the enabling environment, we are going, no matter how hard you work, you always meet the ceiling. And I've said several times, we are not blaming the government, but we are just saying that if we keep having terrible leadership, we keep having terrible governance, we keep having terrible policies that cannot enhance the creativity of young people, we are going to struggle quickly. Look at the case study of Rwanda. To start the business in Rwanda is free for 2 years. To start a business in Cameroon is, general report says, is $128 is going to cost you. Other countries almost $1,000. And Rwanda has become a powerhouse with incredible employment, great companies, because they have structured the policies that can enable young people to grow their creativity. And creativity goes to an extent with young people again being able to monetize that creativity. And again, we should stop waiting for the day we're going to have the right amount of money from somewhere before we monetize creativity. And that goes back to my controversial philosophy. You don't need external money to start a business. You need external money to scale a business. Many people are struggling because they're waiting for the day that you will come and give them 1 million francs to start a business. But how do you expect Mr. Leo to trust you with 1 million francs when you have not started with 100,000 francs or 10,000 francs? So start with what you have, prove a portfolio, give a track record, and you can convince somebody to believe in you.
Okay. Good evening to you all. Many people in Cameroon and Africa don't succeed, or they are ashamed to do what they can. Andreas Ayuk writing from Mutengene. From a blind analysis, I think the private sector is controlling about 75% of our economy. Absolutely. We have been so foolish waiting for the public service, and that reason young people age out and cannot even go in for concours. Reason for public service is because you can stay without working and stay at salary for years. Okay. Mbuye is writing from Jakuri. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Carlson from Imana in Yaoundé. I'm really enjoying the program. This is totally not specific answer. Good evening, it's Perrin from Bengui. I'm enjoying the program. Hi, Mr. Leo. To all the entrepreneurs on the board, kudos for the Pan-Africanism promotion. Success is a function of your mindset, your willingness to exploit opportunities, and taking action based on a clear vision, irrespective of your geographical location, spiced with the ingredients of patience, self-discipline, and determination to attain leverage. I have a vision of transport company, but had to start with a commercial two-way truck, and I'm determined to attain or surpass the level of Phoenix Voyage, Mr. Mbong.
That is it.
Is writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Leo, Mr. Joybert, and the team. Thank you for this program. One of the things we need to be successful is to overcome procrastination. Fola George, writing from Mutengene. Good evening, sir. I'm most grateful for this your program. The truth is that we lack ideas. We cannot grow without good ideas. To be creative, that's why most of us in Africa and Cameroon tend to depend so much on the government, and we should start helping ourselves by sharing our ideas. Okay, A Young Stephen, writing from Limbe. Very long messages. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the team on board. I salute your coach Javnyuy and Mr. Remarkable, Mr. Kindler. Thanks. Okay. Thanks for this program. My mindset has been improved on. My issue is the role of personal development and success here in Cameroon. I think lack of basic skills, lack of emotional intelligence, intellectual improvement, and growth is equally affecting exposure to opportunities. Okay. Constance is watching from Bamenda. Kelly Moo, the director, says, I want us to know that if we forego our fears, definitely we will make it in all dimensions. Okay. Good evening. We need patience and manners of approach. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Roland from Yaoundé, very long message again. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The government can't employ everybody, but in most countries it's the private sector that boosts the economy. I have been listening to the experts in the studio. I agree with them, but just to let them know that what is holding back Cameroonians from engaging, not to talk of succeeding in business, is our taxation system. Okay. Being successful in Cameroon is simple. Just build your human capital. That's a shoe repairer should be able to produce a shoe, not only repairing it. Wandering from country to country won't make you successful, but building your human resources is like sharpening your colors. I'm Dirune, that's Azinwi, writing from Pamibot, you know. Greetings to you all in the studio. The only way to be successful in Cameroon and Africa is to do what successful in people do. And if you want to be poor, then do what poor people do, and the result will be blatant. Respect to Atabong Joybert. My name is Mbifi, dearest, writing from Yaoundé, good evening. I'm Ranson from Bangen. They think that we are in Cameroon. Okay, the thing is that we are in Cameroon. Now, we want to succeed in Cameroon. Should the key not be in research, hard work, and taking the step of faith?
Well, we say research. I laugh because
you must know. You must know the economy. You must know the taxation system. You must know all these opportunities.
I laugh because we run business in Cameroon per hasard, like haphazardly. So comes so. You know, we never.
There's no strategy.
There's no strategy. Sometimes entrepreneurs actually get people on board, but they don't listen to them. They still go ahead and do what they want to do, and then at the end of the day, the business crumbles. Research and development is one of the most important or pertinent part of every business. If you can't be able to ask relevant questions like, okay, this business is at this state, what am I supposed to do so much so that I stay in the market? What are competitors doing so that I can be able to do it better, and so that they will not outwin me in the market? If you're not able to ask those questions, whether you like it or not, you are going to struggle, and in the long run, you'll be kicked out of the market. Because I have said it time without number, change is the only thing that will occur, and the moment you don't accept change, change will kick you, and it will not kick you lightly. Change doesn't caress. Change doesn't come to say, okay, Mr. Buji, today you are a big guy, I'm thinking that if you stay and do like this, you will continue. No, when it comes, it doesn't question you whether you're going to stay. You have to identify it and grow, and the only way that you can do that is through research and development. Permit me to mention one of the major money transfer companies that we had in Cameroon. Let me say in the early 2000s, right up to 2015 per se. Express Union, they were doing so well, they were dominating. They will even tell you that Express Union, that's in 100 meters you will see them, and they were always full. They were always full. There will always be a long line there. But they did not do what Mr. Joybert mentioned earlier, to understand your industry and study to see how you can be able to improve. And what's happening today, we can't even find them. They have shut down somewhere, and some of their branches, they are still existing in Douala with all the heat that we have. They are not even able to use fans. Why? Because clients stayed away from them. What happened? They did not take time to see that, okay, as time is going, this is how our clients are reacting. This is what we should do to actually proceed in the market. They are enjoying their position like number one. And okay, we are number one, we are auto-tone. And talks on the streets say that people actually came with the idea of mobile money and suggested it to this particular company, and they did not pick it. Or they pick it, but they did not take it serious. And the time they were about to pick it, another company had already embraced it, and they were doing already well, which is one of the problems that we are having in Cameroon and in Africa. People don't want to partner with others. They want to be the only ones that will hammer, and me have been Mr. Leo, the biggest journalist of Cameroon, and there's nobody like me. And then to what end? Of course,
I'm a big journalist. So.
No, I'm just saying. But now, in the context of real business, if you want to dominate and sustain, you have to be able to open up. Because as you are partnering with some people, you strategically, of course, you don't partner with anybody. When you partner with others, you share resources, and you'll be able to stay in the market. If you permit me, Mr. Leo, since we are talking about, we mentioned map design on this, I'll share a short story, maybe to inspire somebody out there, how I happened to meet this woman and how she is here today. Sometime in 2017, when I was still working in the bank, this woman came to supply dresses to my manager. When she supplied dresses, she came and was prospecting me that, as you see, I can sew good dresses to you. I saw her zeal. I asked her to sew me 3 shirts. She did that. The way she delivered with accuracy, I was forced to suggest a deal with her. I told her, you see, I know a lot of people, and I can recommend you to sew this. If we partner and you work with me, I'm going to make you to sell so much. She was like, but I don't have money right now. I'm patching with somebody, I don't have a machine, I'm using his machines, but I will try. That's where it started. And before you know it, this woman, how can I say, she's like a magician. Before you know it, this woman only suggested to me that she has some money. How can we do to buy her first machine? Today we are talking about a woman who has more than 5 machines and a zigzag machine. And then, okay, I also went ahead to play my own role. I started connecting him with anybody that I knew. And the strategy that she used to penetrate is that she will first of all sew a free dress to you. And of course, when you love it, what do? You give another command. We Cameroonians, we don't want to partner with others. And this woman is everywhere. She did the same thing with Mr. Teke, right? She sewed a dress here in Douala, went to Boya, looked for Mr. Teke, until she sewed dresses for everybody at Teks Global. By first of all, offering a free gift. And right everywhere in the ecosystem of young entrepreneurs in Cameroon, when they are talking people who are dressing, you have to mention that. That's to say you can use the same strategy out there, young entrepreneur, whatever thing you are doing. There's something to that Mr. Joybert has been doing that I admire so much. The shoes she wears are always shoes produced by Cameroonians. This is something that we should learn how to do it. And he shared the story of this young guy, that this guy was studying, and the father was a shoe mender sponsoring the young man. And he told the young man that you get up, make sure that you take your father's business and you upgrade it. And today the guy is one of the biggest shoemakers in Bamenda. And he's making a lot of money. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. KUM and all the Teks Global team. I wish to know if they can someone who is not a member of their company. I love, mentor someone who is not a member of their family. I love your program and great, Mr. Buji. For me, Edwin is writing from Loom. Edwin, can you just call the numbers on your screen after the program? Good evening, Mr. Leo Lewis from Yaoundé. I love your program. The system in Cameroon is too poor. It does not encourage young entrepreneurs because of the tax policy system. There is no genuine businessman in Cameroon. Mr. Buji, I would like you to react to that. Is that not a stereotype? And is that mentality not discouraging many persons? Good evening, Mr. Leo. For me, the first thing is to know your consumers and believe in yourself. Kimbeng is writing from Gienbo. That is in that's in Bengui, at the entrance of Bengui. Good evening, Mr. Leo and Mercy, writing from Kumba. I love your programs. The government itself is not making things easy for us in many ways due to taxes and some unexpected issues, even when one is trying to make it. I don't know why everybody is saying this. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, can I have Mr. Jarvis' telephone number? I don't know. There's no Jarvis on this platform, eh? No. Mr. Buji, we are saying what it takes to be successful in Cameroon and in Africa is the first thing, not the fixing of our mindsets. That is taking away, because this story of the taxation, these are things that we heard when we were small now. We've grown up and almost everybody is discouraged to engage in adventuring in businesses because of what we learned to know. You guys are into this now. Why are you not discouraged?
Of course, Mr. Leo, you will realize that one thing that is keeping us so far away is information. The information we're exposed to is the wrong information. And when what you hear most of the time, at times, it starts sounding right, even though it's not right. Mr. Teke says that he actually somebody raised this the other day, and he said, if the government can never tax you more than you can produce, your capacity to produce, and in no way, except you are following the wrong channels. And this Miss L here who could help you register your company, who could help you handle your taxes. But now, sometimes people go through the wrong ways. They tell them things. Maybe you want a lawyer who might not be there for your business, who wants to make his own money to pay your taxes for you. There is no way they will tax a business more than the potential of that business. There's a percentage, which means they tax any business according to what the prospects of the business growing. No country will actually make a taxing system to kill businesses. The taxation system is not meant to kill businesses. We might not be as favorable as
other countries,
other countries, but that is not the case. Coming back here, somebody just made a comment a while ago that there is no legit businessman in Cameroon, which means that the Finex, Santa Lucia, Parmomezam, all those ones were fake businesses.
Thousands of businesses.
The thousands of businesses, they are not legit. And because of this mindset, it has killed a lot of us. Mr. Leo, there are two Cameroonians who have come back from abroad when they encountered Teks Global. They told me, sometimes they said, Mr. Buji, I'm resigning from my job in a month's time. I said, why are you resigning? See, they did not know that this type of opportunities like Teks Global exist in this country. Because he has followed up the business, he has seen how it's going, which is a Cameroon business, but originally what was in his mind is that what people have been telling him is that since this is a Cameroon business, it cannot work. We believe that our own things cannot work. The white man's things can work. Like Mr. Teke will always say, because I am black doesn't mean that I am wrong, and because you are white doesn't mean that you are right. Yeah. So it all boils down to the fact that what is it that you are doing where you are? Because your environment doesn't definitely define you. Water cannot sink a ship unless it enters into it. So what is you carry in your mind is the only shield that you can return to when things are tough. As a businessman, that is the only thing that can help you going. If you believe that, okay, if they tax you to exploit a resource, what you need to do is to be able to produce so much from it that you will give them just crumbs, as you would describe them. So if in whatever business you are doing, make so much profit in such a way that the tax will not be a problem for you. So in the long run, all we have to do is let's be optimistic, let's be positive that we can actually make it in this country, because people are making it in this country. Our example of Teks Global, we started 4 years ago. Today we are in 5 countries, and we have built, in Cameroon we have over 15,000 Cameroonians who are actually enjoying financial freedom from our system. This is a Cameroon product, and it's an example of what it takes to succeed in this country. So it doesn't matter where you are, start with whatever tools you have, begin as little as you can, and then move ahead. You will find better tools as you move up the ladder.
Okay. Miss L, somebody says, I want to succeed in Cameroon. I want to be a big guy in Africa. What would you tell the person?
My first statement would be, yes, you can.
Okay.
Let's start by accepting that, by affirming.
Like Obama said.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
You can. Yeah. You can be wealthy. You can be successful. But I'll give you the steps. Let me summarize these steps for you. Give your definition of success. What level do you think if you get to, you will say you're successful? Because our definition of success is different, like what somebody said. And I will tell you that you will know that you're successful if it brings fulfillment, satisfaction, and profit. If you're fulfilling the activity, you're satisfying the activity, and it's profiting you, then that's success. Once you define your definition, have your definition of success, the next thing is just get yourself, how do I get to that point? Because you already know in every successful journey there's a vision in the middle, in the center of it. So identify and then ask, what are the things I need to put in place to get there? Then ask yourself that these other people who did not make it, what was their problem? Identify their problem and let it become a solution to you. Let it be a source of encouragement to you. It's going to help you succeed. But in all, believe that you can, because it's our belief system that moves our body towards the activities that can be able to bring out our visions into play. So you have to believe, no matter who is saying, even though they say maybe in your family or whatever people cannot get to this level, you have to be sure this is what you want to do. Remember, you said, like what Mr. Leo, the question Mr. Leo asked, that somebody said, I want to be successful. You have already uttered the word, I want to be successful. And we are telling you today that you can be successful. Define your success and get working. You don't, success goes with opportunities, and opportunities are not found in your bedroom. You have to move out. Even for those who are looking for jobs, nowadays they no longer publicize job notice. You walk into the bank, drop your application. That's when you discover that they had a vacancy.
Yeah, but then there is something that is happening. Curiously, I've discovered that in Douala, that many persons out there may not know, that actually companies actually scout for people who are resourceful, who can deliver. Most recruitments today, if you don't know, please, you may be there, you have graduated, instead of doing voluntary service and building your skills. Most employments today are done like what is happening in Premier League. Okay. That is, teams go for the best.
Yeah.
So if you are out there and you cannot deliver sincerely, you don't even dream that somebody will take you, because nobody will want to take a risk. So you must be, yes, you must be up to date. People actually go, they convince you, they know that you can deliver, to come work for them.
To come work for them. That's what people do now. It happens in three different phases. The first is that you don't know about opportunities, you search for the opportunities. The next is that you create so much value that people just know. Because value has a fragrance. It has a way, it spreads like wildfire. It just goes out. And another way is that people recommend you. There are some people that they just call. Like they could call Mr. Joybert or Mr. Buji or Mr. Paul, and with the notion that whoever is close to these guys should be smart. So they get to you and say, can you recommend somebody? At this level, this is what I've noticed, Mr. Leo. Whenever you are recommended, they don't even ask for your certificates. That's what I noticed, because at that time, they know that this guy has the skills. This guy, because I define skills as talents that have been built. Because talents cannot profit you until become a skill. So when you've developed it, they know that, okay, it's a skill now because it's already a part of you. And so they go for it. So it's either you step out and look for opportunities, or you build your value in such a way that when people hear your name, they should know that something good is coming. Okay, so if you are out there, maybe you graduated from the university or you had an HND and you are sleeping in your house waiting for the day that a big company will call you, you may never be called. Step out of your home, build capacity in any structure possible. Just work there for free and build your value, skills, and then I'm sure the management in that area, in that structure, is going to recognize the values in you. If they cannot recruit you, they are going to recommend you, because people discuss and interact and share what they know a lot. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and all the panelists. I'm enjoying the program very well. I think for Cameroonians and Africans to succeed in life, we need to be longing, mastery, independent, and we need to be generous. By Kema Emmanuel, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Leo. How can an average Cameroonian succeed in business with the type of tax imposed on us? Kingsley is writing from Yaoundé. Kingsley, others are doing it. They're doing it with the same tax system now. Why are they succeeding? Thanks so much, sir. I'm Brother Godwin from Kumba. I'm auto body finishing. How can I invest my money well? There is this business that someone came up with in Kumba, and I invest my money, and it's a 140,000 francs. He ran away with it. Up till now, he is not where to be found. I really love this program. Just call the numbers under your screen. They are going to help you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's sad I can't watch your program today due to blackout for over 3 days now. It's Sisia Nkwen due to the fire incident that occurred on Wednesday night. Okay, but we are glad that you are with us in spirit. That's why I wrote. Good evening to my media prime panel. To be a successful business person in Cameroon in particular is just to accept a bribery policy. For example, Mr. Liu, if someone imports a 40-feet container in this country and don't want to accept the bribery policy in Cameroon, the person will spend twice the amount as compared to someone who bribes his way out. Okay, Mba is writing from Yaoundé. Many people still don't believe that they can make it without corrupting and making all these other funny activities. Mr. Joybert, there is hope. You can succeed. If others are succeeding, it means that you who is watching us can also succeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have seen younger people build incredible careers in this country. I've seen them being recruited by multinational companies, you see, and that is why I was happy when you mentioned resourcefulness and being connected to the right people. We are in an economy whereby no business likes to employ any liability. Every business loves to employ somebody who will take the company from point A to point B. And back to business, I have seen entrepreneurs who have put 5 years, 4 years, 7 years of their lives, hard work, sacrifices, their total life savings, and they have built incredible companies and are recruiting 10, 15, 200 people. So it is very possible. And this issue about taxes keep coming up. The question is, if you think that these taxes were so much, how are other companies actually surviving? One of the biggest things I have discovered in these tax issues is that many of our business people pay taxes based on what the tax officer tells them to pay. And many of these tax officers inflate the taxes more than what the state requires, and when they pay this money, they take their part and then pay the rest to the country's coffers. Please, if you're a business person, go and get the tax code. Go and get the right tax information. You see people paying taxes they are not supposed to pay because they don't know they're not supposed to pay those taxes. Please go do that. And right now there are so many tax consultants here and there. These are guys that charge just sometimes 15,000, 20,000 francs to advise you on what tax you're supposed to pay and how much you're supposed to pay on a monthly basis, and teach you what to do when a tax officer comes to you. Not that the tax sector is rated among the top 3 most corrupt sectors in Cameroon and Africa. So majority of those guys, they are very corrupt. And the only way that you can be able to fight that corruption is to be informed of the tax you're supposed to pay, where you're supposed to pay it, and when they come and intimidate you, don't bother, go to the tax office and face them there. When you go there and you are informed, they are afraid of you, because they intimidate many business people because they know that you don't have the right information. When you go do that, also pay attention to the various new laws. There are some laws that says if you start a business under the global tax or simplified tax, it gives you some benefit. 2 years or 1 year, you're not going to pay taxes. Like now in the Northwest and Southwest regions, because of reconstruction, there are new good tax laws that what you do in the next 7 years may not be taxed and so on. There are many benefits, but if you don't know them, you will not know how to handle this. Please stop paying taxes based on what the tax officer tells you. You always feel that it's very expensive. Okay, and have a good accountant. For those who already have money that they can pay people, have a good accountant that can do your documents right, and you know the exact percentage of the monthly income you're supposed to pay on the taxes. So knowledge, skill, boldness. You cannot make it in Africa or Cameroon if you are not bold. You need to be very, very bold and very, very confident that you can make it.
But is that not also the secret of for every business person? If you're not bold, courageous, and determined, it's not going to be easy. You should also be very ready to face stiff competition.
Yes, absolutely. That's because you're going to face arrows from several directions, from your loved ones, from your friends, close people, and of course from competitors, and from the tax people who will come with their own agendas. So
the council people.
So courage is something that you would have to harness if you want to do business and succeed in Africa, because in most times you have to stand on your own, and if you stand on your own and you are not really solid, you will not be able to make it.
Yeah, because many persons who are talking about tax, this and that, it seems as if they feel that the successful business persons they see out there just had it easy. You have to fight your way through to the top.
The truth is that, Mr. Leo, if you ask most of these people who are saying that tax issue, all these things from ISA. Most of it is from ISA. Yes. Most of them have not really dared into business. It's just because some ignorant somebody complained somewhere and they are complaining too. Actually, too, yes, as Mr. Joybert said, these guys are corrupt because they try to frighten you so that you get something to them to put in their pockets. Not actually that it is going to the government coffers. That's why seeking and having knowledge is very important. Don't sit and you hear that taxes are very high in Cameroon and business are going to crumble, and then because the program is going on my prime, you send a text that taxes are really high. Go for knowledge. Go for knowledge. It is very important.
Okay, if you are watching us and you have a business and you have problems with your taxes, and you also want to start a business and you do not know how to start it, you can contact any of them on this platform. They're going to help you out, especially to explain how taxation issues work out. We have come to the end of today's edition of the program. I want to say thank you to you, Mr. Buji, for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Thank you, televiewers. And if you are in Kumba, tomorrow we are going to be having a Teks Global seminar at the Cancer Hall in Kumba 1. So you are all invited. It's free. So we're going to be sharing a lot of knowledge on how you can actually succeed while being in Cameroon. That will be where success starts, by us offering you the opportunity to learn and improve on your financial future.
Okay, Ms. L, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leo, and thank you to everybody that followed us today. And I'm still encouraging you, if you've not yet enrolled at SHEP Academy, this is an opening, an opportunity for you to get the information we're talking about. Enroll for our next session. And for all those who have their business ideas, you have amazing ideas, and you need the funding, Teks Bridge is available, and we're glad to announce that the first set of persons to be funded will be receiving funds this July. So I'm sure next week, Friday when we come, I'm going to announce the date for the funding. So I encourage all of you, have your business ideas, come with it. You're ready to enroll at SHEP Academy. We're open for you. You want to register your company, your business, just get to us. We're here to serve you. Thank you.
You'll be early next week?
I'll be early next
week.
You'll
not come late?
I will come late next week. I'm sorry. I was mad.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Joybert.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leo. It was so much fun to handle this very, very important topic. And to anybody listening, in whatever you're doing, remember that make sure that you're committed to leave a better country to the next generation than the one we inherited from our parents.
Okay. Mr. Neba, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leo, and thank you to our televiewers. Another announcement, I'll let you know that the Billionaires Mindset Conference that was postponed is going to take place on the 7th of August, and one of the steps that you're going to take in order to succeed in Cameroon and Africa is to come for that conference. Stay tuned, as we are going to be communicating with more details. Thank you so much, Mr. Leo.
Mr. Neba, today is Vendredi soir.
Yes.
Are you taking us somewhere?